Is this?
Hi.
Do we exist? Are we live?
I think so. We're a little late.
We're like way out here too. It's okay. It's okay.
Are you able to fix that real quick?
There's only two of us. So.
There is only two of us. Hi, sorry, we're doing new stuff.
This is all new things. Every day
It's
with
fun.
you. Every day with you.
Sorry.
It's something, you know.
I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. We're always trying new things. Hopefully this is. But what did you do? What do?
So we just have a new software that is multicasting to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously, as well as, you know, I can show chat like Gemma says hi. So there we go.
What? Okay.
Pretty cool.
That's
right?
cool.
So when somebody asks us a question that we're pertaining to, we can so yeah, like when we get a question we want to talk about.
Cam leave early before we head
into
this.
I thought he was a best boy. You can zoom out a little bit if you want. Get a little bit of the AT4.
He's just a great boy now.
Yeah, he's an okay boy. Whoa. My face is not that pretty for that close.
What's up? What's up, Rob?
Heavy wipes. That's cool.
What are those for?
Blood and semen, probably.
Specifically.
Specific, like
it's like a 50-50.
Those are the only things I use it for.
It's like a 50-50 here.
How's the audio? How's
this is cool.
Everything going?
This
I can't see
cool.
any stream health. So are we clipping? How's that all looking?
That little Wi-Fi symbol that we have, how it's like all the way down, that's really good, right? That means it's good. Because it's like it's home. He's like nested, right? Sounds great.
Cool.
Sounds great. Can I highlight that? How do I do it? Show. Hold on. Good. Look at that. I didn't click the right one. Look at this. Boom. That's so cool. I like this.
The other cool thing is I can show like our new like stickers that we're going to come out with, our new logos. If you look up to the top right corner,
that's a sticker. Okay. What is that? Wait, I don't get it. That's a new.
Wait till you're older.
Oh, okay.
You'll understand.
Past my bedtime.
So yeah, I mean, I'm playing around with this stuff for the first time too. It's all new. It's all cool.
I shouldn't put you on the spot like this. We obviously put our sponsors up there, right, for the stream, so we can like put their logos up.
I haven't made banners yet.
Oh, okay.
I've had this for a day. I have to work on like banners and other stuff.
Wow.
You don't get it.
Do we talk about what we're doing later after the stream?
Let's talk about that now. We've kind of had like a long opening, and I'm sorry, guys. So cool thing about this is now we can do like we're live on YouTube as well, which is awesome.
I am. I'm just having fun over here. Just ignore me. Just do your thing. Do your thing.
Sorry, I'm watching on my computer. Like, what just happened? So yeah, we're on YouTube, which is fun. And later we're going to be joining some friends. Finline Defense. I'll drop their YouTube channel in the chat.
You know, there are so many content creators. It's hard to, keep up with all of them. So, to be honest, they're not someone that I had heard of before.
They're really cool guys.
That you had, before you. But I checked out some of their stuff. I mean, they've got a really good following. They've been doing this. I think they've been doing a weekly live stream. Looks like about as long as we have. They have well over 100 episodes. So say doing it every week, 2 weeks, or 50 a year.
It's usually right after us.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing. They're West Coast, right?
Yeah.
They were like, "Yeah, you want to do our live stream?" It's like what, 9 to 10:30 our time, isn't it? Or like
something
their
that.
Time. Their time.
So 11:30.
They were like, it's like 8. It's like 8 to 10 our time, bros. Like, gives us time to get off the boards. Get off into the water and just skadoosh.
I don't think that's how they are. Yeah. Don't be doing that.
Well, I'm getting it up now, so I don't put my foot in my mouth later.
I love their product demos. They're one of the reasons I bought an Agilite carrier. They just do really good in-depth gear reviews. So I really respect them for that. It's hard.
Start doing that.
I'm just yeah. I agree. But again, there's so many people that do that. So it makes it hard, I just think it's really cool that we're on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously again.
Yeah,
we haven't done that
super cool. Right? It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
So can we touch this thing? I can't touch it.
Yeah, YouTube's kind of
Shouldn't
touch.
you have it there?
You can't touch firearms on YouTube Live. That is a 2. That's not even technically. Does it have a serial number? That's the first thing I watch usually.
Oh, hell yeah. Lieutenant 146 is watching us on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Thank you for the double views. Every bit helps. Every bit helps. So what do we got? Should we plug some sponsors?
Yeah, why don't we?
We've got Advanced Protection Gym and Beyond Performance Gun Protection Bags. So on to the next. What do we got coming up now?
Again, insulting our people.
All right. They know. We know. And we love them. Yeah. They love us.
So you grabbed the bags first.
I did. We talk about them often. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in bags.
A lot of my collectibles.
Advanced Preservation Inc. Right. Preservation. It is advanced. You know, I'm sorry. You gave me this Arizona that I don't know.
These things are so good, dude.
The Ginseng? It's the Ginseng, isn't it?
Yes. So Arms
Preservation
Inc. is hold on, wait.
Now next you're gonna tell me it's not a macro environment.
It's a micro. I know. So API bags are awesome. I keep all of my bulk ammo in them. That's another use. So typically what I do is I'll grab like a 50 caliber can, and I will dump all of my ammo or take them all in boxes. Put them you don't have to do that. That's just what I personally do. It's just easier to grab a handful and put it into a range bag. But
when the kids combine.
Yeah, here you go. There's your portion. I'll put like 5 years of protection on this. So if it's corrosion, it creates a little microenvironment inside the bag, and that helps stop corrosion and
super high quality materials, locally made, right here in Fairport.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It feels great. Another sponsor we have is Beyond Driven Fitness in Leroy.
When's the last time you went?
It's been a while. The fire kind of knocked Pat and I out of our schedule. We were going like 3 times a week for 2 months.
Yeah.
And the fire happened, which I don't know. And then like I got diagnosed with like sciatica. Like I remember my back. I threw my back out. Something like that. Prevented me from going. I need to get back out.
We have to stay close to the mics, they're saying.
Oh, sorry.
When we come off the mics, there's like echoing and clipping. If only we could hear ourselves. You know what I was telling you earlier? We should be listening to ourselves.
I still can't hear myself.
Really?
Can you hear it?
He set up this thing where we have to listen to ourselves, and I can hear myself on a delay, and I hate it. Don't like it. People love it, though. People love it. So, as everyone knows, this show depends on the viewer, you, the viewer at home. So, please ask us questions. Someone noticed right away that Pat's not here. We have an excuse that we're going to give. How much longer do you think we have before people start looking for him?
Pat had to get milk.
Have I said too much?
That's the story I'm used to.
He had to go get.
I'll be back. I got to go get milk. I'm still waiting.
Going to the store, son. We'll be right
that
back.
Milk has to be really curdled.
We'll play catch as soon as I get back, son. And the cat's in the cradle. Can I say
that? Probably not. I need to stay in front of them. Don't yell at me. I'm sorry.
Oh. So, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been pretty okay. My week's been going pretty standard at the shop.
Yeah.
It's been getting a little busier after Freedom Weekend, which feels great.
It does. There's always, whenever you run a sale or a special or have a big weekend, there's like a little bit of like people wait, to see what's gonna come out, what's gonna happen. So they don't maybe come down like the week before because they know they're gonna come down for the weekend, or then people maybe spend a bunch while they're here. So they're like, I gotta wait for that bank account to recover a little bit. But it's been nice. I love that we have guns out again.
Yeah.
It sucked not having firearms out. I'm glad we were able to rearrange, take care of things, move some stuff around, and have guns out for sale. I really like it. I like that we've got these little medical first aid kits, which obviously a lot of stuff I buy because it's something that I want. I don't know have I ever done that before? I think this is the first time I've done that ever.
Nope, I've never seen it.
But yeah, I just think they're neat. I love that we have weird stuff. Although the Backpackers Pantry meals were
those things rock.
Very well received. A lot of people like those.
I'm a huge fan.
Super cool. I like this.
Sorry, I'm also trying to see like the stream health, but I can't figure out how to connect to it. That's for another day.
This is kind of a test. You did a stream the other day that was a few minutes long.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, very surreal.
That's a cool setting.
I've had like fever dreams like that, just where you're standing over me.
That's a great setting if we want to do like an interview with somebody that doesn't want to show their identity.
Oh, we get that all the time.
Yeah, regularly, like once or twice a week.
We would do that, and then we would just say their name like constantly on accident. Like, oh, hey, Joe. Oh, ooh, I mean, sorry. Billy. Whoever you are.
So
the stream has health.
Devin, thank you. The mango sticky rice is amazing for what it is. Again, we're talking the Backpackers Pantry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy you enjoyed it.
Price that stuff too, because I know you can go to like REI or other places. We price that stuff like right at or under where. Same with like those bags or the first aid kits to your lab. Can you grab one of those so people know what we're talking about? They're right here. They're right here. Oh my gosh, they're right here. Those things.
We're talking about food.
Yeah, but I said the same thing with these. Grab some of the food, and I said same with these. These are priced like if you look this thing up, the Sportsman's Series 100. We're selling it for $29.99, which is less than you're going to find it on like Amazon or REI. We've got all of them, not all of them, but we got like the ultralight ones. I think they're pretty sweet. And yeah, the Backpackers Pantry, by far, I think the best tasting of any of the ones.
Ass compared.
Yeah.
And Colby asks, the stream has health? Yes. Sometimes it's in good health. Other times it's in bad health.
But there's a lot of you that persevere and watch us no matter what.
Yeah.
Most of them are grandmas.
Thanks, Gemma. Are the med kits waterproof?
They are. The yellow ones, they even say watertight right on them. Ultra light and watertight. Look at that. So
they are really light.
Do you do any camping, Rob? You sound like a camper. You sound like you know a thing or two about some people spend a lot of time inside, but I think he spends a lot of time out of doors, like not indoors, but out of doors, out of them. He doesn't have any in stock.
No doors. He has no doors.
I regret not taking. We were going to take. He went and did it up in the Adirondacks. We were going to take like a wilderness first aid class.
Yeah, together. I remember you wanted to do that.
That would have been cool. A little, once or twice. So we have got. What else do we have down here? I put them up in the last stream. I wish you'd let me talk about those little pokey things, the letter openers.
We can't.
I wish we could. Be cool. There's
straight to jail.
There's stuff down here that can't even talk about how cool it is.
Speaking of camping and stuff, you just said goodbye to Camp Dittmer, right?
We did, yeah. So pour one out for her. I don't want to pour some on the actual ground.
Oh no. Okay. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Social.
Yeah, for anybody that camped. Anybody that was a Boy Scout in the Glow region, Niagara County, that area, Iroquois Trail Council. When you were a Cub Scout, you went to Camp Samwood. When you became a Boy Scout, or for certain campouts or whatever, you would go to Camp Dittmer. It's been a Boy Scout camp since the mid 50s, and so I went there as a kid for several years, 3, 4, or 5 years, and then I worked there as a counselor from like 07 to 010. And yeah, so unfortunately, the Boy Scouts, there was some abuse. I don't know if you've heard of that. I don't know. It made the papers. Terrible. Shouldn't laugh at that. But anyways, the Scouts made the decision instead of selling off. I don't know if you can tell I'm sort of bitter about it. Instead of selling off assets that like corporate Boy Scouts owned, like they have these big super camps and whatever, they made all the local councils pay off like their own little share of it, and so a lot of councils had to sell their camps. You've seen a lot of local camps. Babcock Hovey out on Seneca Lake had to close. Camp Shelkoff down in like the Wyoming County area had to close. So they've sold off a bunch of them, and unfortunately, Camp Dittmer was the latest victim in that. So has had a history since, like I said, 1956. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Scouts have gone through there. And yeah, we had a big goodbye to her this past weekend. There was 100, I think they said 178 people for dinner, which I thought was neat because I've told, this is something I did while I was in college.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years. And, I've told my wife, I've told the kids, I've told
dude, I've heard every story.
I've told a bunch of people about, what it's like to work there. But it's just not the same until you go there and you're there and the dining hall's full and you're singing the songs and you're being silly, and there's a certain, spirit decor with all your camp mates and stuff like that and the staff. So it was fun to be able to like be goofy and silly and have that one last goodbye to the camp. And then somebody ended up stealing. There's like this giant, like 3 foot by 2 foot bronze plaque on the entrance gate, mounted on stone, like as you pull into the camp. And it's been there since like 1956. And like right before dinner, camp ranger comes up and he's like, yeah, somebody boosted that. And the council they made up, because there's like an alumni Facebook page. They ended up making a post and they were like, hey, I know everybody wants souvenirs. And like they kind of gave us the opportunity, like the plaques and stuff. We have one. I'll go get it here in a second.
So cringe.
It's very cringy. But a lot of people took a lot of things. And that was one of them that they were like, yeah, that's not cool. They were going to give it to the family because there's descendants. There's actually 20 descendants of like Mr. Dittmer, Art Dittmer, the guy who gave the money to buy the camp. He, they wanted to give that to the family. They were unable to because someone stole it. Anyways, it was returned. They made a post. They were like, don't let this be the thing that people remember and like kind of stain the legacy of, especially a Boy Scout camp. I mean, it's shitty no matter where it would be, but it's kind of, trustworthy and loyal and stuff. It's one of those things we're known for. We have a question here from Kelly. She says, "Isn't that where you guys went camping in a snowstorm? Do you want to tell that story? You were involved in a youth group for a little while."
Yeah, Venture Crew, 556 specifically. Was that Samwood?
Mm-mm. The camp out that I didn't go to.
Well, that was Dittmer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You guys stayed in a cabin?
Yeah.
And it was the middle of the winter and you walked out on the lake when I specifically said not to.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We checked the prints out in the snow.
That was fun. It was like Okpik training.
That was like your like first like field expedition as like a leader.
It hit like negative 14 that night.
Yeah. I was in like Savannah.
Somewhere partying.
New Orleans. Yeah. I was just living it up, jet setting. I was in work. It was for work.
I remember like learning that you have to change your clothes before bed because the sweat will lock into your clothing and kill you in your sleep. And I remember just how long it took for me to change clothes. It took me a solid
just that
15 minutes to like just put on underwear. Like it was tough. And I remember learning like all of the type of sleeping bags and stuff.
Nice.
And one of the other campers that slept in the tent, there was 3 of us who slept in the same tent. Will just brought like a blanket, and I was like, Will is gonna die tonight. Like there's no way Will lives. I remember waking up and just
he's fine though.
Oh yeah, he's fine. Great. Still eating worms probably.
He friended me on Facebook just the other day, so he's still alive.
I remember like I had like the mummy sleeping bag and just my mouth was showing. And I remember waking up that morning with like the snow from the condensation hitting me in the face. It was so cold. Like our breaths are
there was a cabin.
breathing.
Why didn't you sleep in the cabin with the wood stove?
Because that's easy.
Hardcore.
Yeah, don't choose an easy life. It was fun. I really am craving to go camp in the cold again. It's been a while. It was a very fun trip.
Yeah. So that was Dittmer, and she is no more. Unfortunately, they're gonna sell her. And there are some rumors. Hopefully, the one that we like the most is that the YMCA buys it, because then it would still be like a youth camp.
A camp, yeah.
That would be ideal versus just some rich guy buying it. There was a movement among the alumni. We were like, a few of us were talking, and it was like, okay, like best case scenario. It's not like they want like $2.7 some million for it. Even 2 million, even 1 million, right? We were like, okay, maybe on the best day we can come up with like $100,000 when we put it all down, like what everyone's going to contribute to this. And for the longest time it was, it's always been a Boy Scout camp, so it's tax exempt as far as like property taxes go. It's like a 300 or 400 acre camp, like who knows how. But anyways, so that's enough about that. I cried like the whole weekend.
You don't want to talk. It's like the whole point of the show was to talk about it.
Oh really? Oh geez.
What's going on with the structures?
Put me on the spot. They're gonna sell the whole thing just like as is. So I don't know. And it sucks. Yeah, like our friend Ron.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine worked there.
Great guy.
His son, a good friend of mine, Austin, was unfortunately killed back in 2009. You were alive then, weren't you? I think. Barely. You weren't a teenager. I know that much. So that's a weird.
I think I was.
Were you?
2009.
Were you? No, oh yeah, 96. I guess you would have been.
Yeah, I think I was.
you little pipsqueak. Unfortunately, Austin was killed, and Ron used that as the impetus. He built this really nice pavilion, cabin type structure down there to train the new scouts. And actually, during pandemic, out at Polar Wave, we built some lean-tos that are out there, and they're gorgeous, and they never got used. And now, unfortunately, it's going to be sold. But that is the way that it goes. Some of the alumni have been talking about trying to set up, like we'll start with like a weekend. We're going to run a weekend next year where we maybe rent out. I mean, if Dittmer becomes a YMCA camp, maybe they would let us rent it. And we could do a weekend like camp out there, and we could, the songs that we sung, just the program. There's like there's a certain way we did things. It was really cool too. Like I'm from Troop 650 out of Alexander, and so this weekend was really promoted first as like an alumni from the staff goodbye, and then we were like, oh well, let's open it up to everybody. Like if you ever went to Dittmer, you should come to this and say goodbye to it. So they opened it up to all the troops, and there was a lot of people from a lot of troops, but like actual like troops that showed up, there was only like 3 or 4, and mine was one of them. And there's a funny at flags, usually morning flags, everyone's tired, so no one does anything silly or funny, but at evening flags, when they put the flag up and down, at evening flags, people like to make a funny joke or rhyme. So they the head guy of the camp, he's like, scouts, report, like, are all the troops here, right? And 10 different troops will sound off. And my troop, I can't remember it now, but they had a funny, like, roses are red and you are cool and goodbye and this is sad. Like he had like a funny, I'm not doing it justice, but Tommy had a good one. It was funny. And it was fun. It was weird. Like we talked about Freedom Weekend, when some of the Freedom Weekend, some of the Venture Crew kids were here that we hadn't seen in what seemed like 10 years. It's the same thing. Like there were kids there that I hadn't seen since they were like kids in camp. Yeah. And now they're like 25.
It's weird, man.
They're married. They have kids. Like they have their own lives. Yeah. Like crazy. Questions. We need some questions. Please.
Just thinking about like how long we've known each other.
Please questions.
It's been
a
like
decade.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's wild.
Yeah. Aww. Getting all sentimental stream. Nick, just completely bypass. Oh, were you showing me affection? Here we go. Were you trying to make a connection? Morning flags. Troop 431. Wide awake and sleeping, sir. Yeah, there you go. Nicholas asks, look at that. Brandon, can I come in just to rack the 50? I just want to know what it feels like to be a man. And just, King, give yourself some affirmation, like just existing, just waking up every day today, like in 2023, you are a man. That's all it takes. Like, don't, this is nothing. This is nothing. So come in anytime. Yeah. Literally it's what is here for. I've really been thinking about how we could make it more accessible to the public in the new shop, like when we have the room for it. Now it kind of has to live like in the vault area just because there's not a lot of room. But literally, like anytime, as long as you're in here and it's not packed like wall to wall, like please just ask, like, hey, can I see the Barrett? Like it would be fun. The guys will get it out for you. They love when kids are in here, or a new shooter. You show them something cool, like you show them something else that's cool, and it's kind of like, that wins kind of.
Yeah,
which is why I took it down there.
My black rain is so cool. Oh yeah, well, check out my 50.
So yes, come on down and check it out anytime. Post for pictures. We'll take you outside. You can pose wherever you'd like. We had just the other a couple of weeks ago, we had some students come in. They rented some stuff in the range, and then they wanted to pose with the 50. And Ben, I think it was, took them like all the way out back, like, and they were like laying in the grass, like as if they were shooting that thing.
Yeah,
like, it was very fun. So
that is very fun.
We love it. It's we can't shoot it, so that's the only reason we keep it.
I mean, we
basically.
can.
We should. Now that like, what's it gonna hurt?
Virgin Auto Sales.
Just
into the.
Tell us which one you care the least about.
I mean, we could do it into the farm, but I'm afraid it'll go and hit 490.
Yes. Yeah. So Kelly asks favorite beginner pistols. I wish Pat was here.
Yeah,
because then we could just go we could go to the bat. It's like putting Freebird on the radio. Like we could go sit out for 15 minutes, and Pat would just TLDR, Shadow Systems, CR.
That's an expensive starter pistol.
Glock 48.
It's hard because the starter, like with the rental program that we had, your starter pistol, you kind of got to figure out what you wanted and was best for you. I recommend that you start off with, I hate always recommending Glock, but just something simple. Glock 19. That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
That compact size is a great place to put your foot on, because when you learn that gun, it's like driving a car. I love how Huther puts this to newer people. If you were to get the keys to any car in the parking lot, could you drive it off the lot? Yes. It's pretty easy. Like put the key in the ignition, gas and brakes are the same. All controls are the same.
Sure.
So same thing with a gun. All controls on a handgun are mostly the same. So I usually like starting people off on like a Glock 19. Glock 17 is a little big for a lot of people, but the bigger you get, the better. And then that question changes when you want to start carrying, then we start getting to more micro compacts. Personally, I carry a Shadow Systems MR920L. So that is a 19 frame with a 17 slide. And so I carry a hybrid of a compact and a full size.
It's something that I've talked about where we've mentioned before, a modern quality firearm that you're going to find from a dealer like us. We're not going to sell you a Taurus like a Spectrum, right? Like, remember that gun?
Yeah.
We're not going to sell that to you. We've talked about it, Zach comes in and he's like, I want one because they're terrible. And I want one for the lulls. Of course, we'd sell you one. But Kelly comes in, hi, I'd like my first handgun. Generally, whatever. And most shops are like this too, but I'm biased towards us. Whatever we, and give you, I think a lot of people get worried about is that going to be a good in terms of does it work? When I pull the trigger, will it function? And that I would say is generally not a concern that I would have.
Yeah.
Is this comfortable? Does it fit my hands? Then it's good. It's going to be a good choice. And that's such a personal question. And we're all just so different.
Absolutely.
And how am I going to carry it?
And that whole thing with the Taurus Spectrum, I will sell you anything that you want, but I am always usually overtly honest.
Too honest.
I would not sell this literally to my mom. I would not sell this to you. I wouldn't sell this to my sister. I would not sell this to anybody in my family. But I also believe in free will. And if you want to buy this with your own money that you work for, absolutely. That's on you.
You've shot every other gun and somehow that does just fit your hand. Hey man,
I'll tell you up front. I wouldn't trust my life with it.
Yeah.
But I believe in free will.
Doesn't it? Oh man. Hi Mitch.
Warranty doesn't apply.
Evening. Hi Brett.
Killed, right? Because you wouldn't be alive to take advantage of the warranty.
Joe, you have. Oh, look at you're in picture.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't get to see that.
There he is.
This is Joe. We don't get to show him too often. Look at his beautiful face, staring into the white light.
Like this unfiltered light blinding me. It's great.
Hi, Joe. Everybody say hi, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Kyle, put me on the hot seat here, Ty. Kyle wants to know, where's his lower?
Oof.
What the heck?
They're being finalized still. I know I said that the last 2 weeks. That's just, we ordered a lot of them and it takes time to mill them. So it's a slow process for sure, but I promise you they are coming. I will get on the horn and figure that out. Same thing with t-shirts. Again, that takes time. We ordered so many of them. I don't want to be rushing a product, if that makes sense. I want to make sure it's done properly.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
But I assure you, when they come in, I will be shouting it from every social media platform. Believe it.
That'll be super, super cool. What else we got here? I liked Mike's comment. I posted it a little while ago. I'm going to bring it back up. Men's mental health idea. Take pics with the 50. Maybe we could do some type of deal. You know, I don't charge for those pics, but like maybe for that we do, and then we'll like match a donation up to, you know, $5,000 or $10,000 or something to a local mental health, you know, charity. Like I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
There's a Glow one. There's a Glow region one. Pathway of Hope, Pathway to Hope, something like that. I'm a part of it. I'm sorry, fam. That's where we get like the posters and stuff for mental health. It's important. It's important, fellow king.
I'm just gonna do my interviewing techniques of just nodding at you.
Letting me keep going. Just digging a hole. Mitch, excellent suggestion on the 365. Sorry, I'm just catching up on some of these comments. Brett shot a Barrett in Vegas.
But it wasn't our Barrett, specifically the Virginia
wasn't
Barrett.
The Barrett. There's a lot of Barretts, but it's not the Barrett.
Yeah, this is Barrett Brandon's Barrett. The one that gave him his name.
There was like 4 seconds where I was like, could I sell it? Like at the height, like right when I came home. Like,
We'd all hit you.
should I list it on Gunbroker and just, you know, again, like donate it to charity to fight the good fight? Oh, yeah, right. You know, but no, I'm selfish. It's mine. You can't have it.
Yeah, it's too cool to sell.
It is pretty cool.
Hi, Joe.
It is very cool. Devin says during the pistol class, he was not a huge fan of the Taurus. The Glock felt way better and was way more consistent. Yeah, because we use the Taurus TX 22s.
Yeah, I
In
think
the class, we have some Glock
I
fofos.
mean, that's a
I don't think you can
that's
say
a- one
that.
of-
Fofos.
it's one of
Nope.
the better
Sipping
Tauruses though.
Something. I don't know.
Like as far as
Try to be
Tauruses
more
go,
cultural.
like in 22 semi-autos, that's
That's a
pretty
good gun.
one.
It's a
Like,
good gun. That Taurus has gotten a little better in the last
mhm.
since COVID.
Hi, Joe. And Kyle says he's actually got 2 lowers coming.
My
so
man.
it's going to be both of your kneecaps. Oh,
I welcome the try. You better be in a car.
So, what else do we have? Did you want to talk about? Can we show one of the boxes? I saw. We were like, can we show? Can you show a box?
Yeah.
Just toss it over. I just love having those, and it's like, oh, cool, a VHS tape. And then the kid will be like, "What's a VHS tape, Dad?"
This is all I can show you.
If you find any of these at our house, don't watch them.
Yeah.
Whoa. What's in there? Open it up.
We can't.
Do it.
We can't.
Just Google that company, Black Triangle, and
That's all you need to know.
If you need a letter opener, they're pretty cool.
They're very cool.
I like the whole aesthetic. Is that a vibe? I like the whole yeet about them. Whatever is that?
It's definitely not the last
Lit.
one.
I think. Stop it.
It might be lit.
Don't do that.
I don't know what the kids are saying.
Brandon has that Riz.
What is that? You can't use slang that I don't actually know.
I mean, clearly he does. He has a couple kids.
He has kids. He has the Riz. Like,
Yeah, he's got
somewhat.
it a little bit.
at least 2 times, right? Is that? Whatever. Pretty gas, yeah. Yeah, King. Thanks.
Shut the fuck up.
How many more do we have left? We've got like 3 or 4 of these Arizonas left in the fridge, don't we? These aren't $1.
And we still have like
Are these the
4
ones that
more
are $1?
hours.
Could you imagine
No.
if these were $1?
Juke.
Realistically, though, explain why it can't be $1.
Alcohol.
Capitalism. That's why it can't.
So to change
Listen,
the
I went
topic,
to the bug jar once.
this is why we need headphones.
The machine.
Go ahead.
Okay. What were you going to say?
Capitalism. Can you imagine going back in time to like some venture capitalists or, you know, the founding of capitalism and explaining to them what like Fortnite skins are? How you
I
have a
feel like-
product.
I feel like the Dutch would get it right away because they invented stocks and stuff. They like the Holland Land Office, right? Like all this stuff that founded like New York State. Like they would be like, "Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
oh yeah, picture McClog, you got it."
You have a digital skin that you can just infinite a number of and just sell it.
Brilliant! It's brilliant, man.
And then you can shut down the game, take away the skin, and keep the money.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing.
Shut your
stopping
game
me.
down. All right.
Nothing.
I
How do we
mean,
do that?
it's their fault if
Next
they
TFP is just going to be
agreed.
virtual.
It's going to be
Scrap the whole
NFTs.
building.
NFTs everywhere.
Scrap the whole
Oh,
building.
wait, we have a VR shop.
We to give
The
an
grandkids
update,
will like that one.
to give an update on the building and the rebuild. We are going to be on the planning board meeting for the end of the month here. So
Cool.
things are moving along. We've got some site plan things in the works, and yeah, I still can't. I guess I'm hesitant. I always like give away plans and then they change, so I don't want to keep like changing things that are up in the air. I do know we're going to have more space, not only for retail, because man, were we packed when we first opened. Remember how empty it was, and we're like, oh, we'll never fill like this. And
10 years later.
10 years later, I mean, we were looking like a certain place up in Hilton there that's packed to the gills, Augie's, if you've never been. And he hated it. I love it. There's some of that to me is very endearing, but I get it that not everyone likes to live on the set of an American Pickers Horde. So I do know we're going to have more room for retail. We're going to have a brand new building that's going to be built better and with metal, right? Which is awesome. We're going to have a fire suppression system, like a sprinkler system.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, right. We will have a much larger classroom space, maybe 2 classroom spaces. We're not all those details are confirmed yet, but definitely a bigger classroom space so that we can do more training, have bigger events. I'd really like to just have more Second Amendment activism done here, because it's, I don't want to brag, but I feel like we are a lot more than a store, and we need to be that place, that meeting place for the Second Amendment, just to keep it going, keep it alive. And I do know there will be more lanes. We might need your help. I'll be honest. We haven't really like talked about that much. We've talked about though internally here. Yeah. Like, should we
crowdfunding?
Should we do some crowdfunding? And I think we're gonna have to. I think we have enough to get like the foundation and like the guts of the range, or actually not really the guts, the frame of the range, but the infrastructure, the ventilation, the rubber, the steel, stuff like that.
Expensive stuff.
I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have enough when it's all said and whenever you go to build something, here's the budget, and it always goes over that. So I'm hesitant to say that we'll be able to open with another range in addition to the one that we have, but that is the goal. So we might put it out there.
Stay tuned.
We need your help. I was very encouraged. Our friends over at Eli Fish in Batavia, before they opened, they did a Kickstarter to like, hey, we can open, we're good, like we're gonna be here, but you want to help us dial it up to 11, we could use it. We could use the help, and that's how it's gonna be for us. So I'm very excited. Will the lanes be longer? No, unfortunately, that's one of the things that the topography of the land makes that prohibitive. The firing pin right now is kind of up on a hill, and if you were to go longer, you'd have like 20 to 30 feet that you'd need to build the earth up. So I do have plans to someday, like I should say we have plans. We have like drawings on paper, like we have rough sketches of like a master plan of like, okay, if we had a $10 million budget, where would everything go? The driving course and the shoot house and the rappel tower and everything. We do have a plan for like a long distance tunnel, I guess I would call it, like where you could maybe stretch like 100 meters, but that's going to be down the road. That's going to be,
we have to focus on this first.
Yeah.
Our live stream studio, look at it.
But they don't really know the difference. They can't really tell.
Yeah.
I feel like for them, this has kind of stayed pretty consistent, which I'm proud of.
Me too.
Yeah.
But you don't see me ripping my hair out
you've kept it nice. That's why you wear the hat. So was that where you had the hat?
Bald.
Yeah.
I'm bald.
I'm very proud of the team. I know I've said it before. I said it at Freedom Weekend, and I'm going to keep saying it. To go from the facility that we had, and just when you work a job, there's a routine. There's this is the way we do things, and this is there's the job, and then there's like kind of the behind the scenes that facilitates the job, so to speak, and all of that. The job kind of stayed the same. The customers come in, I need some ammo, I need this, but it was like all the behind the scenes stuff changed.
Yeah.
So you guys were expected, it's like you had to keep the play. It's like being in a play and you had to keep the play going, but you had to change the entire set and the wardrobe and the costumes and all of the you know what I mean? And there was you had a play on Friday and the show opens again on Monday and it's a whole new everything. New theater. Changed. Yeah. You had to move across town. It was a whole new whatever. So I'm very proud of everyone. They've really taken it in stride and they've really, kept the ship afloat, so to speak. And I thank you to all of our customers too. I mean, yeah, we did have some people cancel their memberships, which I'm completely understanding. I mean, you paid for a product and you can't use it as it was. Say you only own an AR-15. I'd be like, oh, that sucks. I can't use the mobile range for the next whatever.
But be nice to us.
And times are tough. I get it. Shit's hard out there, for everybody. So I get it.
But got some mean people.
I'm eternally, there were some hurtful, cancel me right now, jerks.
You've done nothing. You've done nothing to rebuild.
Yeah, I haven't seen any movement. It's been 8 weeks since the fire. I haven't seen anything. But anyways, that's been 2% of our members. More than 90 or 95% of our members have stayed with us. And I mean, at this point, it's been three months.
There's still a range.
It feels like it's been an eternity,
a lifetime.
We as soon as I get a better timeline on things, I will share that. I know
I gotta pace myself.
We have a full rebuild. We are probably talking upwards of a year, I think, or 10 months maybe. Mike asks if he can get the state to move 490 for us. I'm down with that.
I laughed at that. Yes, let's do it. Petition.
Anthony asks if we have to shut down for the new building construction. And there may be a day or a week, or there might be a stretch of time where, if there's a 100-foot crane on site, maybe for safety reasons, we just can't, it's not worth it. But one of the, guiding design. One of the guiding design philosophies is that this has to stay open. This space, the temporary store has to stay open. And not for nothing, a little inside baseball, we have insurance for loss of business, right? The store statistically usually does this. We have this amount of expenses. We have this, we have this, we have this. And we have insurance that covers that. So in theory, we could all be sitting at home doing nothing. We could close. Everyone could get paid. They could go on holiday, but we can't do that for you, the customer, first of all, because, we're here to serve you guys. And again, not for nothing, we have to use that money, the money that we're still losing for not, we're not doing anywhere near what we used to do, I'll say. That money we're pouring back into the facility. We're using that to build the better range, to build the bigger classroom, to build the facility that you guys deserve, that the Second Amendment community deserves in our area. So the goal, Anthony, to a long-winded answer of your question, the goal is not to close. I'm sure, unfortunately, we will have to for, when they're setting the trusses, there's going to be days where I think we'll have to. But if our excellent team, Thompson over there from Churchville, if they can come up with a way to keep us open, then we're going to stay open. That's we have to. So, and yes, Marianne, hopefully in time for the 10th anniversary at Freedom Weekend. That is another goal.
It's a goal
that we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be nice.
I'm trying not to think about next year's Freedom Weekend. Give me another
we're so behind.
Give me another 50 days.
We're so behind, dude. We're so
maybe 200 days.
We're done.
I don't know.
We may as well cancel.
Also, Michael, I really appreciate you for saying "Build Back Better." I love the sentiment of saying that, but every time I hear that, all I can think about is Bill Clinton.
And that wasn't that a saying?
That's a Bill Clinton coined
Clintonism.
Quote.
Yeah.
I love the thought of it. I love what it stands for, but I cannot get the Clintons out of my head every time I hear it.
Yeah.
But thank you.
That is true, though.
I love you.
We will. We were kind of presented with two options. You could rebuild exactly what we had, kind of in the exact same way. And I'm not going to say that we'd already have it back up. We could probably have some of it done. We'd have some rough of the framing up. You know what I mean? Because we could just go buy the lumber. That's easy. Going with a metal building, you have to order the building and it's to be made. It's going to come in, then it's going to be built and stuff. But you will see some stuff relatively soon down here. And yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Stressful, but fun. But very fun. It's fun to like sit down again with like blueprints. Like we did the other on what was it on Monday? And we were like, all right, here's like a rough footprint of what we have to work with. Like, should this go here? Should we move, if the back room takes up this much space, then the front counter has to go here. There's all these like, it's a little game of Tetris. It's like there's certain, the bathrooms have to go in a certain spot, like the range. We're not moving the concrete of the range. So there's certain things that are locked in. This building, the garage that we're in, was a giant design constraint. The building is shifting like 12 feet to the east because the new building, the dimensions that it is, it's either this building is being like swallowed by the building, which is a lot harder for, makes it a lot more expensive, or it's like just right next to it. So yeah, can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Can't wait. Oh, it'll be fun. What else is out there? Do we have any other questions? I'm trying to think. Do we have anything cool? What came in cool? Anything sweet? Any guns? Do we get one of those sugar weasels that already sell?
Yeah, we did. Jamma asked a question. Because of today, which is my grandfather's anniversary, death anniversary. I don't know how that goes. Is the Cooper's Corner sign going to be hung? Absolutely. We'll probably find a new spot.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I'd kind of honor a lane to that, even though most people don't know
who my
grandfather was. But
we would certainly do.
I would like to do that.
Yeah. That is definitely, yeah. There's a lot of history from the old store that we saved, and I was very proud and very glad, that we were able to save a lot of items. Yeah, sure. It's sort of on. You can see that it's here. Bonk.
Never heard that before. This sign,
Cooper's Corner. So, for those of you that don't know, Tyler's grandpa, Bruce Cooper, was one of the like the cornerstone. Like, he was a face that you would see down here.
Yeah.
Like if you were just here on a random day and you were one of those guys that just kind of shot the shit down here, which is what happens at a gun shop. Bruce was here a lot. When we were building the shop, he came in with a spool of wire to help us. We were trying to hook up the doorbell. Didn't have any wire. Came with a whole spool of it. And he was like, hey, you're going to need some filing cabinets to file all your dumb ATF paperwork you have to have. And he's like, I got a friend that's selling one. That's where I met you, helping him deliver that. And
the filing cabinet.
Yeah, when he passed away much too soon, one it was a hot day, right?
Yeah, just today,
working too hard, right? Literally just one of those guys that
reminds me of your dad.
Kind of knew he's gonna go that way. Yeah. Kind of know, like, okay, he's gonna be working a project, and then that's just how and that's how they'd want to go.
Yeah,
I think, right? Versus, there's a lot of other ways that you could go.
Yeah, slow,
terrible, right, in a hospice or whatever. Like,
just to talk about my family history real quick, I'm actually really proud of, my last name is Mira, but my mom's side of the family, the Coopers, my great grandfather owned a gun shop way back in the day, like 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this was before Greece was what it is today. It was a lot more farmland and stuff. And he owned a gun shop, Cooper's Corner. I'm always looking for people who know what that is. But yeah, he owned a gun shop. He died very young, and my grandfather took it over. He ran it until about the 70s. My great grandfather kind of stopped when the FFL came out because he didn't really want to deal with all that stuff, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, firearm, I don't know. People have like family careers and heritage, like the Coopers. They made barrels.
So your grandpa would tell me stories of like Mr. Turnbull, like old Mr. Turnbull,
original,
like, not Doug, like Doug's dad. Of stories of Doug's dad, like driving up into his shop, and they'd be like they'd be playing poker way into the middle of the night, trading like guns, and they're playing poker for like Colt single action armies and like old Winchesters and like, you know how it is, like when you're a gun dealer, the cream of the crop you keep.
Yeah.
You keep the best of the best stuff. So I'm sure it was no different back
Yeah.
then. So who knows what kind of cool shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'll take that crate of BARs, I guess. Like, I ain't got nowhere to put it. Like,
I don't know. I'm just very proud of that's like my family
super cool
heritage is just gun shops.
And it was one of those like it was always there. Like you said, it was your heritage. That was definitely. I'm not trying to like, oh, because of me. Say we weren't here.
Never would have happened.
You probably would not have gone
Never.
down. I mean, you went to Knob Creek with your grandpa. Like he
But
introduced you
I
to
knew what a
guns.
trigger was.
Sure.
Like
I don't think you would have gotten as deep into it
yeah.
as we are
Never.
here.
I don't think I would have had the interest, honestly.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
I was stupid with guns when I was
Just
a
such a
kid
cool,
playing with them.
History repeats itself, and it's just one of those. I think that's what he meant, right? You're not talking about the fire, are you, Mike? That's a jerk. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Wow, Mike. So Ed asks, can we make an AUG New York State legal? And boy, can we.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell that story or?
Why don't you?
So a few years back, man, this was like 2017 or no,
Yeah.
18 maybe.
I'd say 17.
So
17, 18.
a few years back, we sent Josiah and Huther to SHOT Show. And while they were there, Josiah goes and talks to the guys at Steyr and was like, hey, like, we love your gun. Everyone loves the AUG. It would not be that hard to make one New York State compliant. And like, here's what you would have to do, in our opinion. Run it by legal. Let us know. Like, here's our contact info. And they come back. And, you make a lot of connections at SHOT Show or any of those trade shows. And I don't want to say that they usually don't go anywhere, but like,
yeah.
There's a lot of, it's a show. There's a lot of whatever. So a few weeks go by, whatever. And we get an email from Steyr. And they were like, hey, like we were talking to Josiah. He mentioned this. We get talking. And long story short, Steyr developed a New York State legal AUG because of us. And they were like, we'll build them if you promise, or like you have to order the initial run of them. And I'm like, fuck, they're going to want like 100, right? And like dealer price on an AUG is still like, say more than 1,000, but less than 2. Like it's a lot, right? So to buy like 50 of them is like $500,000. Like
a lot.
It'd be more than that, like say $600,000 or $700,000. They said you got to buy 5. So it's like, wow, okay, that's still a lot. That was still like say almost 10 grand, or I think retail price is like $1,850, and it's not like you don't double your money selling guns. I'll tell you that. You might make 15% on that. So we had to shell out 7 or 8 grand for those, and bam, they flew. Now I don't know if it's in current production. Josiah would know, Tatro, or I don't know if we can look. Basically what they did was it's got a crowned barrel, so no threads, no muzzle device, nothing like that, and it had a fin. It has a piece of Kydex wrap on the back, and with those two things accomplished, it is New York State legal, and you can have the magazine removable, which is pretty sweet. It's one of the actual few like functional at that point semi-auto.
And they're really
PMAG
cool.
it's not an AR-15, but like say a PMAG adapter, right? You can get them that take Stenag mags, and they are pretty cool. And if you had to, I mean, it's a piece of Kydex that could be removed, and you're kind of back. You won't have a muzzle device if you move. But if you moved, yeah.
The barrels are quick change. So
The barrels are
quick
when you
change.
move, you
barrels
could
are
buy
quick
a
change.
different barrel.
Yeah. And when you look at it, it was kind of one of those things too that made sense, because think about from a manufacturing standpoint, you take a barrel and you have a barrel at some point, like it's not threaded, and then you have to thread it. So we were like, just don't do that part. Like just take your barrel
and just don't
do it.
Yeah.
So like it was easier for them, it's cheaper. It probably offset, maybe not, but it probably helped offset the price of doing the Kydex thing.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see if those are still in current production. I don't know why they wouldn't be, because it's not that hard of a thing for them to do.
Yeah.
It just feels cool that we're like, I'm sure they don't have a plaque commemorating it at Steyr, but
they
like,
probably don't even remember.
they should. I doubt it. We should make a big thing of it. We should like go there. We'll like find the
This
day.
is mine. This is mine.
We'll like find the day we bought the first one, just show up with like this huge thing, like balloons and a fucking, Publishers Clearinghouse. Like, just, hey guys.
I'm excited
Wait,
for.
If we got some, we could, and we get the lasers running again. We could laser TFP logo on the Kydex.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Not as cool as you though.
I mean, I try.
With that really nice white light in your face.
So, just to go back to Ed's question, though, we could make almost anything legal, and we have. If you're more interested in collecting firearms, which a lot of guys are, we can definitely. There are a lot of guns out there that you would never think existed in New York State. As long as it has a locked magazine, you're good to go. You can own just about anything. So certainly there are some guns that make it very difficult to load and fire and manipulate. But if you're a collector, you want to own an example. We know guys that have like 8 different versions of an FAL.
Yeah.
And he can't shoot any of them, but he doesn't care. That's not his point. He's a
He just
collector.
likes having an FAL.
Sits in a pile of them on his bed and, don't take out the black light is all. So, yeah, Ed, come on in. 9 to 6 on Saturday, 9 to 7, or noon to 7 on
Saturday might
Sunday.
be hard because I don't know if any of the guys will know. That's a Joe question.
We'll definitely take your name and number. We could look at
Yeah,
them. We
send
could
us
do
a private message on Facebook.
There you go.
We'll take care of you.
Slide into
Or
our DMs.
shoot us an email at
You
info@thefiringpinny.com.
can find out tomorrow too, and tell the boys, hey, if a guy comes in, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
I think that I want to say they're 1850. That might be low.
Oh, dude,
They're like 2150.
they were like
Sorry.
23.
Yeah, they're
21
like
to
that
23.
$5,000. I think.
Actually, they were like
And
7.
how much you got? How much? How much is an AUG worth?
They're
to
starting
you,
at
Ed?
least 2,000.
Oh, good times. Fast times at TFP High.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, what?
What's one thing you're incredibly passionate
wrote
about,
that.
and why? How have your aspirations or life goals evolved over time?
What is this? Why did you double post?
That doesn't sound.
I'm asking you a
high.
question.
I think it's.
I
think
am
it's ChatGPT.
incredibly passionate about the environment. Actually, I have that's something, I think that's always been there. I grew up as a scout, right? And we were always taught like leave no trace and
Which
things
you
like
passed
that.
on to me, by the way.
Good. That makes me glad. That makes me very happy. And yeah, there's just been, there's there are some aspects of, I'll say, this job where you're kind of expected to be a certain way. And there are certainly some things I'll pick on. We had a customer, Aaron, that came in during Freedom Weekend, and he had a rainbow flag
Pride. Yeah,
with
pride
the
flag with
AR-15
AR.
said armed equality. And I vibe with that. And I went up and I told him, I was like, we're probably like, you wore it. I said, I would wear that shirt. You guys would pick on me. I said, but it is a shame that some of that stuff is, kind of look. And I feel like the environment is one of those too, where it's lumped into like, oh, you pick on me. Oh, you're a liberal, like trying to ban my diesel truck. Like, yeah, you son of a bitch. Like, I get it. But it's just one of those things that I am passionate about. And I had a moment in the fall. We went up to the Adirondacks for Thanksgiving, and we're like up this gorgeous, the Adirondack Lodge, LOJ, right? That's up there. Gorgeous place out. I mean, middle of nowhere, gorgeous place. And me and Ari, my 6-year-old, we're sitting there, and we're just kind of taking it all in, all the nature sounds, everything. And then just like off in the distance, you just hear this like, and it was like a propane delivery truck, right? And it was just the nastiest, like pre-emissions diesel, like just hell yeah, border. And like we're just sitting there, and I didn't say nothing, and she just like kind of like looked at me and was like, well, that's kind of like that kind of ruined it, right? And it was just one of those little things that was like, yeah, like I don't know, I'm not saying that like the electric cars are better or the answer, but in that moment I was like, man, that would be cool. Like if Tesla had their big semi or whatever, like I don't know if it'll work up there, like it probably go up the mountain once, need to be recharged or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Brandon,
Like
we don't
that
have
was just
time for that.
that was another diesel industry's like, nah, fuck that, bro. It was just one of those things that was like her kids won't maybe have that because of some of the changes that we're making and some of the regulations are like, we have no idea. Like we had smog, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? We had those fires from Canada. Like, I mean, there were jokes being thrown around, but like, look at pictures of like San Francisco or New York City or Chicago from like back in the day. So, I mean, look at the, like there was literally a river that caught on fire in what was it, Chicago or like
Somewhere,
Ohio or
yeah.
somewhere like back in the day. So like, I don't know. I think we need to do more for the environment. We only have one. So that's what was the rest of your stupid question? How have your aspirations or life goals evolved over time? Definitely having kids changed that too. It's very cliche, but like when I feel like before you have children, you're a little bit more selfish, say, than those that don't, because you have that thought of like, man, like they're here and then they're gonna have kids and the chain just continues and you know you want what you think is best, I guess, and that's what everyone wants. And not that some people are more correct than others, but you know, sometimes I do think to criticize our side, which I don't like that.
I don't believe in the sides.
There's no us or them. It's all us. We're all Americans. But I know a lot of people think us versus them, liberals versus conservative, whatever. And I do want to critique, say, our side, you know, the more conservative side. Sometimes I think we do things just because, you know, I want to own the libs, so I bought a diesel truck. And
What happens on both sides?
And it does. It's not right when they do it either. It's virtue signaling either way. Like that's the problem, right? I just, in my example with the environment, I sometimes think like, oh, government says I can't have a plastic bag. Like that's it.
I'll buy 100.
Like, I'm burning a fucking tire tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like some of it's like, really, bro, come on, like.
So you were telling that story about enjoying nature with your kid, and you heard the truck.
Yeah.
Would you say Ted Kaczynski was right?
I have not read the whole in the Industrial Revolution and its consequences. I haven't read all of it, and I don't agree with his methods. Man, like when you're in college and you read that, some of you, like part of you does like, man, where does this airline guy live? Like, you know what I mean? Like part of you does like, yeah, like you want to rage against the machine. You want to like, that is messed up. And like, you can see his argument. I don't agree with hurting people, like to accomplish your goals, like terrorism, that kind of terrorism. I don't agree with
Any kind of terrorism.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't agree with it.
Yes.
Yes. For legal reasons.
Yes. But yeah, I don't agree with mailing people. There was I don't know if he just died, didn't he?
Yeah, recently, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I saw something online.
Joe, can we pull that up?
People were talking about like his first victim was just like a dude who owned like an electronics store, and Ted just like sent him. I don't remember why he chose him, but he was like the test, and he like built it and just like left it in some like garbage like behind the dude's store, and the dude just went to like clean up the garbage, and it blew up and it killed him. And he was like nicest dude in town, like was super nice and a staple of the community. And that one, like, sure, it's not a good thing to kill anybody for your goals, right?
Yeah.
I get mad. Me and my wife have an inside joke about, because we live like the approach to the Rochester airport. There's like 4 different whatever, like how the planes come in, and there's one that like is dead center over our house that I wish I'd known before I bought it. And so like we always like grumble. We'll be like outside and just like right over our head, and something about Uncle Ted, like Ted Kaczynski, like he was very intelligent but sick. And yes, MK Ultra, Brett Carlson, absolutely.
My man. So was Charles Manson.
Said that they're saying that it was suicide. Kaczynski.
Oh, he was suicide.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He committed
Yeah.
self-die.
I wish that. Did you know his cabin? Have you ever seen that photo of his cabin in the FBI warehouse?
Yeah.
If you had, like, for the viewer at home, Google because like Ted Unabomber cabin FBI, and there's like this photo. They took his entire cabin
Just moved
and
it.
they moved it to this FBI warehouse.
Crazy.
And then it was in a museum for like years in Washington D.C., I guess. And you could just like, you could have gone to it and been like, damn, there it is. Like, but then it closed, the museum.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
of course.
MK Ultra is a really one of my favorite. It's not even really a conspiracy, but like
That's like fact.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
blurbs of history.
Oh yeah.
Charles Manson being involved with it and stuff.
Crazy.
Wild.
A lot of that stuff. I mean, you talk about like conspiracies today that people like, oh, the government would never do that, and it's like, man, they've been doing that for 100 years.
Freedom of
Like,
Information Act. Look
yeah.
it up.
crazy, 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 crazy. That's why I everyone should just buy some chickens, buy a cow, just return to the land, stop consuming.
Earlier in the stream, we talked about us and how we're more than just a shop and the culture, and I really wanted to like hit more on that because I think we're going to talk about this a little bit on the next stream that we do. Again, we're doing a stream directly after this stream. I'll post a link onto where it will be on YouTube if you want to watch it. But I don't know, man.
What time is that? Do we have to start like?
I think we're gonna have to start pretty soon. At least I messaged the guy.
Yeah. Is that the woo?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm super excited, and he said woo. I don't know. I think we definitely, and this might just be, I hate being like egotistical and tooting my own. I hate that, but man, I've seen the change in the gun culture in New York because of us.
Yeah,
it just feels good. Like if you were any other color than white and you went into a gun shop, you were instantly, what do you want? Why are you here?
Or if you were young.
Yeah,
like
or
if
young person.
If you were a young guy, yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like we really did. We were a staple in changing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I mean, speaking back to when I was a customer, just going to gun shops as like a gun enthusiast, as somebody who grew up around, my dad's in the industry and he worked at a gun shop when all that, and just being a student of history and liking, older weapons, like it was tough to know a lot and go into a gun store where they don't, like, they're just like, it's just a kid.
Can't pick up on that or whatever. Yeah.
They don't know anything about guns.
Yeah.
It's like, I know a little bit.
I was definitely in like an abusive relationship with the other gun shops in the area when I was a young guy. Like I would walk in with, like, I would have worked at Camp Dittmer. I would have, when you're 18, if you have $1,000 to your name, you're looking for things to buy that cost $1,000. Like there's no such thing as budgeting or saving or whatever. So like I would walk in, I'd work a summer. The best thing about camp was that they like fed you and you lived there at camp. So you never had to go anywhere. Like you never had to pay for gas. Like you just, whatever. So I'd leave camp with like this big wad of cash. And I remember going into a shop in Batavia that I won't name, but over by Taco Bell. And there's a lot of them, so you might not know where I'm talking about. But I went in there and like I had $1,000 in cash. I had $100 bills in my pocket. And like I walked in there to buy a gun. And then they just treated me like, then like they didn't know that. And that's the same, like every person that walks in the door, you don't know that. Like they already made the decision to come to your store, to get in their car, to spend the time, to spend the gas, to like get here. And then they treated me like absolute garbage. Like he was like reading his newspaper and he was like, he was mad.
We had a customer come in recently who had like done his research and he was ready to buy. He ended up getting a Daniel Defense, but he was ready to buy a rifle of that caliber. He's like, I've done my research. I know I want something about this.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, let's do it.
The best.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's the best. So yeah, I when we opened, and it's one of those things that I like to. It's not like it's a necessarily a choice. It's not like something we've written down that like this is the only way we do it. But we generally hire, I would say, almost like from within.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we choose you to come on board. I really, other than our initial staff, which none of them still work here, you never submitted like a resume.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like people that have like submitted a resume, which we generally don't solicit for. Sometimes we have, but we kind of like to notice that you appreciate what we appreciate. Yeah. It's just one of those things. We're not opposed, please. We do get.
I want to see your resume.
Resumes. We get some very cool people that have applied. That
but the hard thing is
that we've built relationships with. But like,
it's like, if I'm going to spend 40 hours a week with you and a gun, I have to at least know how you handle that gun. I want to make sure that if you shoot me, it was on purpose.
Sure.
It's important, man.
I remember when you said it to Florian.
I'm sorry, but Joe, he came into the shop a lot, so I
and-
knew him and I knew his gun safety, so it was a natural, seamless thing. But if I got your resume and you've done X, Y, and Z, and you served in the military, and that's awesome. I love you. Thank you. But I don't trust you.
So much more to
I have to spend that time with you. You have to earn that trust. I want to go
so
home.
Much more to it.
Every night. Every night. I want to go home.
Resumes don't tell you everything because they didn't tell you that I knew how to do this stuff. Like
true.
Stuff.
Right. Right.
This is not like
It's not a skill that you could put on a resume.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, you would now. I would now.
Yeah, I could now, but
But does it matter? Like, does it really matter? Like, you can say you've worked in a gun shop for 15 years, and I don't care. I don't know how you are with a gun. Like,
I always like the military does a very good job, or at least some. I think if they take advantage of the services, you can get your resume like professionally. I'll say like fluffed up right before you get out of the service, or as part of being in or out or whatever. And we've seen some resumes come through where it's like, logistics sergeant in charge of 2.5 billion units of inventory, and it was like, oh, so you managed all the ammo for you had you had 10 pallets of ammo,
I mean, if you're
it's still a big deal. I'm not diminishing it.
You're
It's
just
still
like,
a lot.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're responsible for X million.
$18.5 million worth of equipment. It's like, okay, yeah, you were the squad's armorer. Yeah. I get it. It's still cool, but yeah,
Send us your resume. I like looking at them. They're kind of fun.
they are.
We're not
They
hiring.
are.
We are not hiring, but
We're not. In fact,
you never know.
In fact, Tyler, this is really awkward, but we may as well just do it now. Yeah. You don't have any big, expensive like events coming up soon, do you?
Just I have a plate.
Oh, cool. So you can like
That is my
Jim McGee. I think my last resume was done in 2004. Probably gonna.
Jim McGee, such a homie.
Yeah, John, I had the worst customer service ever at Buffalo Gun Center. Look at them now. Where are they? Gone.
Tell you where they're not.
They're gone. Yeah. That was actually, I guess I never had business with them, but I have never been, at least in this area, I've never been in a store with more firearms. That store had,
Let's change it.
holy cow, they had like, woo. I'm trying to think of an example that I could get. I would guess they had a few thousand, probably like 5,000 guns in inventory. It was impressive, especially for a mom and pop. I mean, a lot of, big stores for a Cabela's to have a ton of guns is not that hard, but for a small shop, that's pretty big.
I mean,
Uh,
Cabela's has like 20 of this rifle, 30 of that rifle on the rack, so it's like, it's not the same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I can have 15
You need-
Savage Axes.
I guess Knob Creek-
unique inventory is
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
something we pride ourselves on.
The
honestly.
Knob Creek store, the amount of inventory that like they had, Buffalo Gun Center probably had a similar amount.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was big. Yeah, big. Mike says many gun shops are arrogant and fly under the radar. I will travel to a store with respect and knowledge. Firing Pin is definitely one. Keep up the hard
Aw.
work. Thank you. That means a lot. It really is.
Thank you.
It's tough to do it every day. I'll be honest. Sometimes it's a performance. I mean, you have to fake.
It's acting
Sometimes.
sometimes.
It is absolutely.
I'm sorry,
It
but
can
that's
be.
customer
Absolutely,
service.
it can be. Not that we don't enjoy it at the same time, but there are days where you
I stubbed my toe getting out of bed.
Oh, sure, we're all
Yeah.
humans, and then you'll have the phone has rang nonstop, and like you've got a project. We all have projects. Like I'm trying to get a certain thing done, especially you at your level, like you're a manager, high level management here. Like you've got things, no big deal. You've got things you want to get done, and then it's like, but it doesn't stop. We're
Yeah.
still a front facing business. You're still, sometimes there's 3 of you here and 2 of the guys, one guy's in the range and somebody else is helping somebody else, and the phone rings and it's hey, what are your hours? Hey, I need a holster for my gun. It's a 9mm. And you're like, okay, well, let's and you've gotta
Yeah,
Hi,
stop making
like,
that t-shirt.
yeah,
Hold
like-
on.
right. Get out of your groove and get the thing. But it's what you've got to do. And that's literally, I tell the guys here all the time, almost everything that we sell, you could probably hunt down a price and find it slightly cheaper somewhere else. I happen to think our prices are pretty good, but we've never we have to be the lowest price. Like that's not our market that we go after. It's our customer service.
Yeah.
It's our customer service. And I've done it a bunch. I love identifying other shops that are a similar, like this is the firing pin of this. If I want to get what, I can't, I'm drawing a blank right now, but
Look Beyond Driven. Like that's why
Sure.
that's literally
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I say that.
Yeah.
Because that's that.
like they're super passionate about what they're doing. You can tell, and it's great. So, Brett says your customer service is top notch. Worked in customer service for 30 years.
Thank
Keep
you.
it up. Thank you. It really does hurt. Like sometimes as you know, sometimes Brett, sometimes there's just no winning.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can do everything right,
Rip your hair out,
and there's just nothing you can do, or sometimes you truly just effed up, and you have to go in
Owning
there
up to effing up is
with your
hard.
tail. It is. It's very hard.
That's a skill I've had to hone over the years.
I one time a guy came here and he wanted to put a sight. He wanted me to change his sight on a Smith & Wesson. It's like, yeah, no problem, no big deal. Throw it in the thing. I've done Glock sights 100 times. There's a Glock Armorer, whatever. Take his Smith, throw it in the thing, crank, crank, crank. I'm a big strong boy, right? So I'm just like, yeah, like, why is this so tight? But I'm
Set
just
screw.
so strong. Yeah, there's a set screw in there, and on the slide, it just kept dragging and dragging until it got so close to the edge, it just like blew out a chunk of like where the cut was. Yeah. So I'm like looking at this, and I'm looking at the thing, and I'm looking at the thing, and I was like, I could lie, I could come up with, I could get myself out of this and be like, oh man, your gun's defective. Like, no, I came right out there, and I was like, look, I fucked up. This is really embarrassing. How can we fix this? And we worked together, and I can't say for certain that guy's like our customer for life, but
Yeah.
I think most people appreciate like when you're honest, and we will genuinely do whatever we can.
100%.
I'm sad and upset that we still haven't been able to make everyone right from the fire. We haven't been made right yet from the fire either. So as soon as we are, you will. But it's kind of the same thing. Like we want to take care of you. Like the whole reason we've been here for 9 going on 10 years is because of all of you. And it's important. So thank you. Creekside was not a place that I ever got to go to, but it is legendary around here. I don't want to say we always, but we've been compared to Creekside a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They were kind of the only similar type of entity where you could go to try out a firearm before you bought it. And then when they closed in the mid 90s, now there's us. So did you ever go? You wouldn't have been up in this area, right? Yet, probably.
No, I never got to.
Yeah.
I heard about it because that was where.
What, the old man? Would that have been around when the old man was up here? You guys are still down south?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get up here until after. That.
Kyle says Louis Gun Shop in Bath is a small mom and pop shop. Along those lines, we should have quite a few viewers right now too, which is a great opportunity. Tyler and I have been talking about this for a while, and I'd like your help in identifying. When you look on Google, when you just type in gun shop, you get 50 results, and 40 of them are like just some dude in his house selling guns off his kitchen table like your uncle, right? And that's cool, but it's not a gun shop, and it might not be a good gun shop. Tyler and I have been kicking around this project that we've wanted to do, and we're finally gonna, I think, start it.
Hopefully.
I'd really like to. I know we're gonna be really busy with the rebuild, but there's gonna be a time where like we can't help with the rebuild because they're building like the building part of it. So I'm hoping there's an opportunity where we can. I'd like to. I don't want to say write a book. Write a book might be a stretch, but start compiling information that maybe one day we'll publish in some type of like coffee table book, where it just kind of tells the story of American gun shops.
The American gun shop.
And a cool shop, say like Creekside. If it had been still around when we were doing this book, we could preserve it. Or I'm sure some of you have pictures of Creekside.
Yeah.
You have
I want those
memories of
pictures.
that. We want those. Yeah. Louis Gun Shop. I have never heard of that down in Bath. I'm going to put it on my list, and we're going to go say hello and talk to them. I made friends up in the Adirondacks with a place, Blue Line Sporting Goods, like right in Saranac Lake. So there's 100 little mom and pop gun shops. It's one of my favorite things. Like when you travel, I know you do the same thing. Whenever I travel, I try to find the little local mom and pop gun shop, and I go in and I introduce myself. And I love because there's that. You walk in, hi sir, like if they're a good shop, like, hi sir, how are you today? Like, welcome to Louis Gun Shop. Like, what can we do for you? And they're like, oh hey, like I own a shop up in New York. And they're just like, oh, phew, okay. Like, how about them fucking
Trust the
customers? Like,
guys.
yeah. Like, has Lipsy's been a jerk to you guys too? Like one of our distributors, or
They've never
whatever.
been a jerk.
No, there's Ben Marshall from Lipsy's. They're great. But it's just fun when that what is it? When the mask comes off and you can whatever. So again, Tyler and I, we're going to start working on
Hopefully soon.
a little project here. So we would love the suggestions, your favorite
The
hole in
stories,
the wall. Yeah.
everything.
Anywhere in the country too. That we're not limited to just this area. But anywhere that you know of that's like a cool, either old, it's been there a while, or there's just something, like for those of you that are familiar with Augie's, like that is just, it's a whole thing. You can't, there's not even a word to describe it. It's a whole, it is Augie's. Yeah. Like it needs to be preserved because there's a lot of places that once they're gone, they're gone. And I think our industry is constantly under attack. When you think of like, when was the golden era of gun ownership to you?
The 60s.
Okay. In 50 years, they're going to be like, man, those guys in 2023 had it good compared to what we have it now, or what,
because like you think about like the 20s and stuff, you can own machine guns and like you just buy them out of a catalog.
It's only going to get worse.
Oh, 100%.
Like.
Yes.
So
I mean, the 20s to the 60s, it's gotten really bad.
There's definitely a story that I want preserved. And you got me all messed up here. How do I go back to where everybody is? Oh, comments. Okay. Thank you, grandson. All right. We do have to cut it short though. We're getting
we got the next stream.
We're getting the flashing light here.
The clock on the wall says it's time to get going.
That's where Bruce hung out with Mr. Turnbull, right?
Turnbull, yeah, I assume. Again,
I'll look for my pictures. Thank you, Todd.
After this stream, we're going to be doing another live stream with some friends in Washington State. Here is a link to their YouTube. If you want to continue to watch us, we'll probably be having a lot more fun. I'll be honest with you, like halfway through the stream, this was getting to me. And I'm about to have another one. So
can we sit down? Can we get chairs?
I might advocate for that.
Thank you, Ricky. That was a very nice compliment that I put up on the screen there. Thank
Ricky,
you.
I really appreciate you coming in the other day and just being able to laugh. I'm going to kind of dox your story a little bit. Ricky has recently lost a toe. And I lost a middle finger. So it was fun to like make jokes about that.
Sure.
And
that's why he made that joke earlier when he was like, "Oh, stub your toe."
Yeah,
He's
not
like,
all of us can stub your toe. I wanted to be like, well, that's why I didn't choose jam my finger in the door because I can't. But thank you for coming again. Just some of those customers, you can take the mask off and just have fun.
Right,
It's a reason to get up in the morning.
Is there a flurba but for amputees? Or
Yeah, I
people missing
assume.
limbs?
I
There has to be,
assume.
right? Yeah.
I assume. There's something for
I'll
everyone.
get you a
know
gift
what I
card
mean.
for Christmas. A donation has been made in your name.
The world took.
World took.
Really, really fast oxygen molecules took my finger.
Oh, Ricky, that's what happened to you, buddy. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I don't want to tell his story.
Oh, buddy.
I'll let him tell it. But we really do kind of got to get going. This has been a fun stream, and I apologize to cut it short, but we've got to get ready for the next stream.
Come watch us hang out with other friends.
Thank you so much for watching us. I love every one of you guys. You got anything else?
Better keep that in mind when Todd Chanel comes in. He's gonna make you.
He's gonna make me what?
He knows the body. Let's